Everybody get in here. Day 1 training series. Your past is keeping you from gaining clarity. This is the pathway to freedom. How to get clear on the life you really want. Get in here. All right. Welcome everybody. I'm here. This is day 1 of the training series. Happy to have you all here right now. I know if you're not listening right now that you will be later on. If you are here, go ahead and share this post. Make sure that you comment, you engage. Let me know what you're thinking about this topic. So let's get right to it, right? I've been talking about this training series. I've been talking about my life a little bit. Let me get this out my nose. This is for women, right? This is for women who aspire to be an entrepreneur, who are already an entrepreneur business owner, and they are looking to start their business, to refine their business, to build their business. They're looking to get structure, get clarity on their business. Hey, nephew. They're looking to get clarity on their business. Whatever it is, they also know that they want freedom. And so what we've seen is about 42% of black women are, out of the people of color, out of black people who are entrepreneurs, 42% are women. So there's a huge influx of black women saying like, hey, I want to do my own thing. Entrepreneurship is the way for me. And so, but we also know that being black, especially a woman, we face so many challenges personally and professionally. Right. So let's talk about some professional challenges, and that's being discriminated against, being dismissed at work, not being able to be promoted, and overworking ourselves and not necessarily getting our due diligence in terms of achievements. Right. The math ain't math there. So women are still struggling. They're not feeling like they're getting paid well, and they're tired. They're like, hey, I need another way. This is not working out for me. So that is why you see the huge influx of black women wanting to be entrepreneurs, but they're just tired. So I always say you've been serving everyone, yet being served the least. Not anymore, okay? Not only these challenges impact their personal and professional life, when we talk about personal, we talk about mental and physical health. So a lot of times what we see from black women is their health is being impacted. They're not asking for help. And I mean, if you, even a black man, you notice a black woman, you know that she's in pain and she's not asking for the help. You know that she is tired, but she is being a superwoman right now, or a strong black woman, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And you know that she could benefit from making better decisions in her life. Let me get a little sip here. So these are some of her challenges, and along with her physical challenges, she also faces challenges mentally. So a lot of women are walking around, black women are walking around depressed and disguising it as high achievement. And so I'm one of those people, and in a minute I'm going to share my story just very quickly because I've shared it a lot, and this is a training series today and I want to teach, but that is the reason why. It's because women are depressed, they are anxious, they're overwhelmed, and they don't really have in black folks' world, we can't really go and ask for help, say, hey, I'm seeing a therapist, stuff like that. These things were taboo. They're just now opening up, but we still have a ways to go there. So these are some of the challenges that women face just in general existing in the world as a black woman. And then you put that on top, hey, I want to free myself through entrepreneurship. Well, how the hell can I put 1 + 1 together to equal 2? And so this is where I come in just to share my story a little bit of being that woman and that woman who's going through mental and physical disparities or personal challenges or personal setbacks, whatever we want to call that. We're getting into that today. She just wants another way. She wants another option. And so when I was deciding to be an entrepreneur, and I always, and growing the business that I have now, I really started at 19 years old when I went to China, and it changed my entire life. I knew that I wanted something more for my life, but I also knew that I could help people and help kids get into school and get these same opportunities as myself. And then they can because I didn't even pay for none of my trips. I traveled out of the country to China, Paris, Korea, didn't pay for any of it, graduated with honors. And so I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to help kids get this system. And like that, we ended to win it. And so once I did those trips, I was letting everyone know, every black kid know. I was helping them. Black kids were traveling around the world. And then it would be, I think I was 20 years old, because I think it was around my senior year of college. So around that time, I went into the office to say, hey, I need some help to go in and get therapy. Now, at this time, I knew I was having struggles in my relationships, particularly with family, so toxic family relationships. So when I say, hey, I help people overcome life difficulties while helping them build a business, overcoming or dealing with managing my toxic family relationships is one of the things that I have to overcome, okay? So let's just get into it. And so it really was an acknowledgement of the inconsistencies that I've been experiencing since I've been a kid, since I would say as early as 9 years old, with like not being able to get along with mom and dad, and then how that trickled down into family members. Also, when we address my chronic health, I'm one of those people, like I started my period at 9 and I was taking ibuprofen by 9. I was crawling in my parents' room at 10 because I suffered from rheumatoid arthritis or something similar. But at that time, they could only just say I was overweight and I was fat. And so these are my options, right? Fast forward and I get a little bit older and I started working. Well, I'm getting fired from every job, right? I'm like working the hardest, I'm getting the results in, and then I'm also getting fired. So I'm not that person who comes from, oh, I had a job and I just transitioned, I quit my job and I went to go grow a business. That wasn't my life. I started in service-based businesses when I was 14 years old, but certainly knew once I graduated out of college that like me working 9 to 5 and that life just wasn't going to be for me. And certainly it lended itself to me getting fired basically from every job after that. So we fast forward and I go to college, and then I graduate from college and it's hard to get a job. We're about to get in a recession, and then I'm good at makeup, and then I'm going to different counters because Mac is popping, and people are like, hey, I think you should interview. And I did. And so when I decided to interview, I got a job as a freelancer, and that was my first job in makeup. And so I was inspired by my mom. She did makeup, her makeup every day, and definitely did her skincare, so I knew the importance of it. I mean, look at the skin, it's giving. And so that is what I set out to do in the midst of a recession. So my friends kind of cornered me and said, hey, we want you to stop looking for a job in higher education. We want you to move more towards your makeup. You just find joy in it. So what I did, and we're going to talk about clarity in a second, because this is how to get clear on the life you really want. And so through me telling my story, you're going to hear how I did that, and then how I'm setting you guys up to do that as well. Okay. And so I went and pursued a full-time career in makeup, and so really learned the business of it, really even got more proficient at the application of it, but also management of people. And so I ended up breaking a sales record with Smashbox record, Smashbox Cosmetics. But then after that, I was interrogated and escorted out of a building and then fired afterwards, because where there was no promotion for me where they had promised. And so, people don't work for companies. People work for people. And so for me, I was no longer willing to work for them and show up for them. I did what I had to do to stay at a good standing, but I was not soaring the way that I was, okay? I had a plan. They was interrupting it. What we not going to do is do that, and that's what it is. Now, I'm a little smart. I have been getting fired already, so I'm kind of like, you know what? They're going to have to fire me because I worked my butt off, and I'm not about to be trying to figure out how to get a job and how to get money and all of that. You're gonna fire me. And so I don't like the way in which that happened, because I was interrogated for 2 hours and escorted out of a building. But some things happened after that, and I started to hear from God, and I started to get the sign to move to LA. And there were a few things that happened, and I tell this story about what it took to make that decision, to wake up and make a decision and to decide. But it certainly involved my community, which was my dad, and then me also just kind of like moving more in purpose and knowing that this is different. This ain't the same. So that's the catalyst for the first big movement to LA to pursue my career as a high-profile makeup artist or celebrity makeup artist. I like to call myself high-profile talent. So anyway, I would struggle for 3 years there, like My living situation was crazy. I'm working jobs here and there, barely paying the rent. I'm having roommates, so it's not great. And I'm just like, I can't even begin to be clear on the life that I want to live for the rest of my life. You're living like this, like I'm just surviving, And so that would happen for so many years. But behind the scenes, I was using my tips and my strategies of what I've learned to get high profile clients. And so I was hitting them up on the DM. And so I had that, was sending a message. I was starting to get life coaching. And starting to just ask for help. One of the biggest things that is a game changer in life is saying, hey, I don't know something, I need help, and then getting the help. And so when we look at all of that, my life, a few years later, and this is despite even COVID, career made a major shift, created better relationships in my life, making healthier decisions in my life, a whole new transformation. I'm right now talking to you from Accra, Ghana. It's 9 o'clock where you guys are at in LA, but it's 4:13 p.m. here. And so this is one of the things I set out once I got clear on the life that I wanted to live. But first I had to make a decision. She woke up, she made a decision. And so for me, I wanted freedom. And so I was willing to try another way, and I was willing to get out of my own way so that I could do that. So that's how the first principle of my company came. You must decide. And there are 5 principles that guide me and that I use to guide others. And it's just has changed my life tremendously. And I know that other women want this same thing. As they see me doing my thing, they're like, how are you able to do this? This is the number one question, right? Toya, how are you able to travel like this? Number 1. How are you affording it? Number 2, right? I want to be free like you. How can I do it? She's here to help. Okay, welcome to the pathway to freedom. How to get clear on the life you want to live for the rest of your life. Okay, let's go. I did not put on no makeup for nothing. I am in my bag today. All right. So, look, everybody wants freedom, especially black folks, especially women, right? You've been serving everyone, yet being served at least not anymore. So, but if you want to get clear, you got to get clarity in your life. And so when I sat down and made a decision, I set to write down the kind of life I want for my life, and certain questions guided me to help me get there so that I could see a better situation, a better solution for myself, right? I was tired. Right, I'm talking about tumultuous relationship with my mom and dad, chronic health. I passed out at a club in 2018 that would later lead to fibroids. And again, a oppressive work career where I was getting fired everywhere. Could never really find my solid ground, right? Could never feel stable. So always just kind of felt anxious and things like that. So, but I had to get clear. I had to wake up and make a decision and say that my life matters more. And nothing else will stand in my way to get to what I want, right? I call this recommitting to the life you deserve. So, if you're a woman and you desire to be an entrepreneur, or you're currently one and growing your business, deep down inside, because you want to recommit to the life you deserve. You haven't been getting that. The world hasn't been offering you that. So you're saying, I'm taking control. I'm moving towards the life that I want to live, to do what I want to do, to fulfill my passions, right? To become my own boss, to build my legacy, whatever it is. That's why you're here today. Now, we want to get clarity, right? Because clarity is going to drive us into the direction, we know we need to go. We know that. It's going to help us focus on our path, our journey, our skills, and our strengths, right? So if you didn't know what clarity was, that's what clarity is. It's going to help you to focus on that path, right? I help you get on that journey, find the journey, and keep going on the path. But what is clarity not? Clarity is not ambiguous. Ambiguous meaning being open to more than one interpretation, which means you just saying, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to have this plan. Like a lot of people out here, because they ain't clear, thinking that they are clear, and they really aren't, right? It is not ambiguous. It is very clear, incredibly outcome focused. You know exactly what it is you're doing and why you're doing it. I need these people to get out the way. They're getting on my nerves. They're in my session. But let's keep what's going. So now, Now, if you ask me, my question that I have for people is, why do they not want to get clarity in their life? Like, why do people want to choose to just like exist being the same, knowing that like that's not keeping them, making them happy, and it certainly doesn't lead to what they want? And I can only think about me when I was struggling, and what was happening for me then. I can only think about that. And for me, I know when I was a kid, my mom would say something like, if you don't have family, you don't have nobody. Now, granted, I was in college and the other stuff was happening, so I'm just thinking like, Mom, are you serious? I definitely have people. Like, I got all these people that hooked me up on so many opportunities, but it still was something, like the utility of me being able, yes, I do feel like I have people. Like, how do I live that out, right? And so one of the things that kept me from like not being clear on my life is that if I didn't have family, I didn't have nothing at all. That was what I was told to believe, right? We're going to talk about beliefs later, but that was what I was told to believe. So, but let's talk about what that is a signal of. That's a signal of our past experiences, right? So, and yeah, I could say childhood experience. We can go that deep right now, but let's just keep it like open and just say past experience. And past experience are the things that have made up our life up until this point. It's the positive and it's the negative events. You know, that both events, it's events, it's your everyday things, but it's the things you do repetitively that becomes ingrained in who you are. So once you know your past experience, you can look at like the things that you do consistently or events that have like made you into the person and who you are. So I had to look at that, right? So if my mom is saying like, if you don't have family, you don't have nobody, then the impact of that is like me not really like going out there doing the thing that I want to do in my business, or me not like really soaring. Like I lived with my mom for 5 years after college, me staying there, right, still struggling and not having the courage to be like, yo, I need to really get up out of here and find another way. It wasn't until like 29. That was 2 years, too many years too long, if you ask me. So when I look at my past experience, I had to be real about the life that I was living and like how it was impacting my life. So I want you guys, we already talked about what clarity is, right? Write that down. But we also talked about what clarity isn't. It's not ambiguous. And how our past experience make up the things that become ingrained in us and what we think about ourselves, right? Who we are and who we are not. And so when we get into this a little bit more, so what is the need to know our past experience? Well, obviously because you want to be free, right? And you may not be trying to like contend with the life that you've lived that puts you in this position to want freedom, right? We'll get there in a second, but let's just acknowledge that it's a past experience, and the reason why is because you want freedom. But you need to understand your past experience so you can understand how it impacts what you do, in the present, now and the future, especially if you want to live a happy, successful life, do what you want to do. Come on. Our past shapes us in the person we are today, for the good and for the not so good. So how we view our past experiences, both consciously and subconsciously, shape how we approach life, regardless if we want to contend to that or not. So I've already said a couple things, right, where we're building a business here, and this is how you start to do it, right? Getting clarity on the life that you live. It's not just starting at, let me just start setting up the business and all of that. No, it's way deeper, and I'm gonna help you so that you go even further in this thing that you want to move towards, right? You want to build a business, but your ass want to be free and do what you want to do. That's what I'm here to help you do. Okay, so let me say it again. How we view our past experiences, both consciously and subconsciously, shape how we approach life. So as we're writing this down, our past shapes the person that we are today, for the good and the not so good. So let's talk about it. What's the good and not so good? This can encompass like our personality, just like how we come off as a person. Remember, you want a business, but if you don't like you, how the hell somebody else gonna like you? Okay, let's just, while I have me a sangria at 4:21 p.m. If you don't like you, how somebody else gonna like you? And I can tell you right now, I didn't like me because I know how I was out here treating other folks. Because 99% of what we do in life is a projection of how we feel about ourselves. So you got to know, if you wasn't out here liking folks, you ain't like yourself. And sometimes the next thing is our comfort zone. We'll stay in that comfort zone because we know the results. We know that if we've been mistreated, then we can almost expect that and anticipate that, as opposed to try another way or to believe that we can have another way in life. Right? You want to have this business, right? If we're trying to get you to believe that you have a good business, but it starts from believing that you just deserve better. I know you saying you want it, but what are you doing to get it, right? This is your foundational work. All right. Next thing is our decision-making capabilities. So if we look at our personalities and the stuff that we just continue to do, then we have to be honest with like the decisions that affects and impacts our life. You know, while we're not making a lot of money, while we're still like acting like cheap people when we're outside, or while we just can't keep a job, or while we can't just figure it out. Like, you need to look at your decision-making capabilities. And again, looking at past experience will give you a good idea of like, what is the impact on my life? Which means how am I currently living? And you can't say that you're content with it, because you would not be here if you were. All I'm trying to do is get you to acknowledge it, call a thing, so that we can figure out a game plan, right? Set a clear plan to get you out of it and get you to freedom. So this is the work. It may not look like it's the work, right? It don't sound all businessy, but right now it ain't. This is personal development, building you, because you are Black out here needing that emotional support to navigate entrepreneurship. And I have been there, and this is 95% of the work. So next thing is, a lot of times when we're used to the same results, we'll keep on living it out. We'll keep on presenting situations. I know if we want to talk about just like, let me call it out. Let me call out my stuff. Relationships, right? I told you, toxic relationships everywhere. Family, friends, men, all of it. And so I would you think that you're leaving maybe, let's say, a family member, but then you go find that same person in a friend. You go find that same person in even a mentor. I mean, by tribe. So you relive the self-fulfilling prophecy, because you cannot fathom another way from yourself. And it's okay to be like, I don't know another way. But you also have to be open to say, hey, I want to try another way, right? That's what, looking at our past, you know, and seeing how it shapes us, you have the ability to try another way. And certainly if you're going to try entrepreneurship, you certainly can do what you've been doing to get where you want to go. Nothing about what you do you can do to get you where you want to go. So let's collide with it. Let's get intimate with it, so we can like wave it goodbye and pick other options for ourselves. When I tell you one thing these people in Africa gonna do, they're gonna be loud. They don't care. They're gonna be loud. It is what it is. Let's move on. And when we just talking about relationships, again, you know, past relationships and experiences with family, friends, and loved ones, it has a huge bearing on the person we are today. And so if we've always been treated a certain way, we end up becoming that person. And so for me, that's really, really huge. Like that's the most work that I do daily, because I do not want to keep on colliding with these same folks, especially as I'm building a business, a luxury business, and even taking it up higher levels than I've ever taken in any of the work and things that I've done in my life. So understanding those toxic dynamics is such a thing, but because I'm willing to be self-aware, to be honest about it, and to try another way. I'm 4 years into this now, but I feel better about the direction I'm going than where I was at, right? Remember, I'm outcome focused, right? I'm clear. I sat down to get clear on the life I want to live for the rest of my life. And that's why I'm in here in Accra, Ghana, teaching you guys from a business that I have formulated since I was 19 years old and went on my first trip out of the country. Okay? So, but anyway, let's just call it what it is, right? We want to break the cycle. We want to break the cycle. You don't want to keep on doing these same toxic patterns. You want to look at your past experience to see how it's impacting your life right now. Because if you do not do that, you are not going to build a business that's going to be sustainable. You're going to be just like most people out here. You're going to build a business that you're only going to sell to your friends and your family. And then after about a year or so, you're going to stop doing it and move towards something else, still trying to find a plan. Because you still ain't clear on the life you want to live for the rest of your life. You're just out there thinking about what's next. Okay. And so what does this all come down to? Like, what does this all mean? Like, what's up? And for me, knowing your past experience and knowing your history, where you belong, can help you see events, can help you see yourself, and see you as still an unfolding story and something larger than yourself, right? Yeah, because you want to create a business to serve people. It's not just to directly free you, right? It's to help someone else, but also later on, we're going to talk about this when we actually get into business formation. But it's going to help you impact the world. That's why this ain't just about what's next. This is about walking in purpose and getting more in alignment. It's already there, but you got to start doing the foundational work of looking at your entire life to see what it culminates to and why you really want to go out there and have that business, because it's bigger than you. And I know you want to serve people. That is the reason why I did it. For me, it was, I want to help kids get into college and to make sure that they don't have to pay for it. It has started there, but it has transitioned to now helping women, new and aspiring women entrepreneurs, build their business while overcoming life difficulties, using mental health strategies and business strategic planning. But I'm still going to serve because that's my purpose. I will always do that, which is why I'm talking to you guys right now at a restaurant, sitting down with a fine man who I got sitting over there. He's an entrepreneur, so he's doing this thing too. And this is everything that I asked for. So I just want to help you get closer to it. So let's get back to it. Let's talk about something, because we're talking about past experiences and we're talking about the good and the not so good. And so this is all about personal setbacks and achievements. Did he send this over here? He sent the water over to me. He's so good. Thank you so much. Is he over there working? He over there working? Yeah, he's working hard. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So you're done with this one?
I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yep. Alrighty, and we're back. Accra, Ghana, coming back, checking back in with you guys. I've already done 30 minutes of In It to Win It. Let's go ahead and reset really quick. I'm talking about your past is keeping you from gaining clarity. This is the first session, the pathway to freedom. Welcome you guys, how to get clear on the life you really want and build that business so that you can get free. I'm over here in Accra, Ghana, free as hell, okay? Free as I can be. And I'm just going to talk about what clarity looks like, what clarity isn't. And when you look at clarity and wanting to build your business, you need to look at your past experiences so that you can wrap it up in a bow to see what it is like really you should be doing and how you can be walking in purpose. But also just knowing your past history, how it gives more discovery to what it is, this thing that you want to build. Okay. Love a man that takes care. Okay, he's so good. So, what does this all come down to? So we're gonna talk. We talked about the personal setbacks. Personal setbacks can appear in many different forms. And so in your personal life, they may manifest as financial, health, overall well-being, relationship, I say leisure, spiritual. It could be personal loss. These are personal setbacks. That's what they are. So when we're talking about looking at your past experience and the good and the not so good, we're talking about personal setbacks. These encompass some things that may have happened in your life and some things that you're currently dealing with now that impacts how you see yourself now and your ability to believe that you can grow a business, a long-term business. Okay. And so when we're talking about the good and not so good, and we're talking about personal setbacks, we also want to acknowledge personal achievements. And personal achievements include like charity work, entrepreneurial success, your health, your finances, college degree, me traveling over to Accra, starting a business, doing a workshop in Botswana, professional success, me working as a high profile makeup artist. These are things that are considered personal achievements. And yes, these could be events, but these can also be things that you do daily, right? Like me, I've been reading for the last, 19, 20, 21, 22, going it's my 4th year reading. So a personal achievement would be I've been reading books for the last 4 years and I'm almost at the master level on Audible or whatever is the level above the master level. But those are examples of personal achievements as well. And the thing about Black women, and the reason why I'm really stressing that you need to also know your personal achievements, is because what Black women do, because we've been the lowest on the totem pole, we always think in order for someone to see us, to value us, to hear us, that we need to go out and qualify ourselves. So we'll go take another class, we'll go get another degree, we'll do something like that. And the reality is that you're already qualified. You have to sit down and see the culmination of what you've done so that you can qualify yourself. I'll give you an example. For me, when I was 6 years old, I started doing the spelling bee. Like, I was already doing things that put me front stage and center. And that continued on, until as I kept on growing up. Like, I just kept on having more opportunities to be front and center. And I realized that's a strong leadership skill of mine, that I feel confident going into those spaces. Stay with me a little bit. I'll let you on in a second. I'm almost done with this lesson. I'll go ahead and take some little feedback, but I'm probably going to just ask a question and then maybe do a little bit of coaching and then see what we can do from there. I cannot believe that bug was trying to get me, y'all. I can't. That's Africa. Let it happen. Okay. I hope he did. All right. And so you need to know that, right? You need to be able to put all of that, your skills and achievements together, because whatever it is you want to do in your life, you've already done the work. We just need to put it together so we can put value on it. We're going to talk about that later when we're actually talking about business formation. But for right now, I just want to help you unlock your why, right? Your past experience and knowing the life that you live and how it impacts how you live today is going to unlock why you want to have this business. So I always say the high achievers method is, what do you want? And then the next question is, why do you want it? So what do you want? You want entrepreneurship. Next, I want to know why. And as you unlock that question, it's going to lend itself to the life that you have lived, and it's going to help you start to formulate your purpose, your reason for living. Okay, this is your pathway to freedom, y'all. Lesson 1. Lesson 1, this is your pathway to freedom. You must unlock this. You must know who you are so that you can free yourself. And so, because you've been serving everyone, yet being served the least, not anymore. All right. So with that being said, this is your first day at training series. It wouldn't be right if I also did not give you homework. So your homework today, you guys, is going to answer 2 questions. Your first question is, what are your personal setbacks? What are your personal setbacks? We talked about them. They can range from financial, spiritual, relationships, career, financial loss. They could be health, well-being, all these things. But I want to know, what do you think are your personal setbacks? And not just now, but your entire life. What do you think has set you back? Right? I called out some things: my chronic pain, my oppressive work career, right? My toxic family relations. Like, I called a thing. And so I want to know what that is for you. So that's your first question. Your second question is, what are your personal achievements? Okay. So now we talked about setbacks, but honey, you are uniquely made. What have you done out here? And I started as young as 6 when I had a spelling bee. So what are your personal achievements? Tell me how great you are and how you've amplified yourself and others have seen you, so that this begins to tell a story of why you want to free yourself through entrepreneurship today. Come on, God. Come on, y'all. That's a large part of the lesson. Number 1. That's where we at right now. What are your personal setbacks? What are your personal achievements? Now, just so you all know, I have something extra for y'all, because I'm really about you guys getting clear on the life you really want. So I have an ebook that I just came out with. Okay, she has an ebook. And so when I get finished, and I should have put the website here, and I will, but it's still getting ready today, and it'll be done by today. But you're going to get my ebook, 16 steps to get clear on the life you really want, right? And how to get a service-based business making $3 to $10K monthly in monthly service revenue, right? What I do. So you can go ahead and get that. You can send me a DM right now if you want to go ahead and get that ebook. But I am going to have a link, and you'll be able to do that Also, if you still feel like you need more guidance and you think that coaching might be an option for you, I'm going to also have that link ready to go when I post. But if the link is not ready, it will be soon, and I'll be teaching daily. That you're going to go and get on the wait list, because I'm going to have something coming up that's really going to help you get clear on the life you want. So just you could be doing stuff like what I'm doing right now, but basically doing what you want to do. And freeing yourself. So I feel like I can help out with that, and it's an honor to serve. This is what I've been wanting to do since 19. I'm not going to stop. So you see my life, and if you want this, like, you're going to get on that waiting list so that you can get that as well. So that's that. And then it's going to be patentleatherproject.com/rediscover. But I'm going to have you guys have all of that. But again, if you're interested, you're going to send me a DM right now. Start with the DM. We'll go from there. Before I head out, okay, I just want to invite one person on. I met her a couple months ago. I know that she's in the middle of trying to figure out her life and get clear on the life that she really wants to live. I want to get her on here if she's still here, and I want to ask her what she's feeling, what's going through her mind, what she's struggling with, right? I don't want to act like I want to take her somewhere she's not at. I really want us to know that we're all in this together. It all ends with community, and I know that she's not alone in what she's feeling and trying to move towards freedom as well. So I'll get her up for a few minutes, and again, I'll reassure you guys how you guys can continue to get more help. And again, you have your homework assignment. I'm going to be here tomorrow, but for now, let's get her on and see if she wants to share her perspective, and let's see if she comes on. Hello there. Are you there? Hello. Tell me you are there. Oh, oh my God. I just can't with all of these bugs. I can't. They're like really over here. I just cannot. Girl, get into it. It's not just a top, it's a dress. This is a dress. And you are missed. We need to hang out. So, like, come on. Like, I'm keeping this makeup and this dress on, and I already called a man to go out because I'm free. I'm free. I don't know where she at. I mean, child, is you here? Is you gonna be on? Is this anyone who got a question? Are you here? Hello, can you hear me? So you can't hear me. So go ahead and log in. Try to log back in, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Thank you so much. Kara, you always look. I'm looking at your page. You're out there doing it. Look, I love to see it. You look good too. Thank you so much. Um, Man, too. He looks really good. He doesn't like that I drink, fella. All right, are you going to hang up? So you're going to try to get back in this call, or am I going to try to end with my people, because this is our first day training session, and I want to make sure that folks are getting what they need and that they have the questions to answer so that they can go and start their pathway to freedom, right? Remember your homework. First question, what are your personal setbacks? All right. Number two, what are your personal achievements? Go ahead and start that list. Start writing it down. Get clear on the life you really want. Um, and then you're going to send me a DM so I can send you my ebook, 16 Steps to Get Clear on the Life You Really Want. And then you can go ahead, and I'm going to give you, when you send me a DM, I'm going to give you the link to go ahead and get on the waiting list if you need more guidance and you're interested in coaching. I got something coming up soon, and I want you to be a part of it. So that is what I have to offer. Look, 40 minutes teaching today, not bad. I just wanted to lead us into this slowly. I told my story a little bit, but there are more stories. There's more of me telling you more in depth my story. But again, it all started because I was serving everyone, yet being served the least. Not anymore. I had to stop it. It had to stop. I really want to get her off the call, but it's okay. Um, you guys, I did it. I showed up for myself. This is an example of it. This is day one. You tune in tomorrow, same time. It's going to be day two. We're going to move in it. We're going to be moving into a little bit more topics here. Next one is going to be talking a little bit more about being uncomfortably comfortable, because when you do look at your personal setbacks, um, you're not going to be comfortable, because the next question is like, what are you going to do to get past it? And so I'm here to help you do that through the pathway to freedom. I thank you guys for being here. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Send me a DM. If you did not listen to everything and you just stayed here for the homework and the next steps, well, hey, you got time to look at it again. It's your whole life, okay? It's your whole life. You've been serving everyone, yet being served the least, not anymore. I'll see you guys tomorrow.